Hey everyone, Matthew Osborn here with the week 7 update of the 100 book challenge, coming to you a little over 1 week late. I'm sorry I've been sick, I lost my voice, now I've got bronchitis and I'm probably going to have it for the next week or two. So I decided to do the video anyways, so if I'm coughing a lot throughout this, I apologize, just try and bear with me through it. I'll do week 8 update video right after this. I decided to do week 7's video separate because it kind of deserved its own video. It was a little bit of a unique week. So normally I start, the 100 book challenge started on a Thursday. So I start every Thursday sourcing and then end on Wednesday. This week 7 at least, I didn't get out to start sourcing until Saturday, but Saturday morning was the most successful morning I've had up until this point. I went to a source near the very beginning of this challenge. I scanned something like 1,200 books, 1,300 books. They had quite a big selection, and I only found 2 books, and they weren't even very good books. And I almost told myself I was never going to go back to that source again. But I talked to one of the employees there, and they said they very rarely ever saw someone in there scanning, and they don't sort their own books. So I figured someone had just come through and cleared it out, maybe in the last day or two when I'd gone. So I decided to wait a few weeks and go back. So that Saturday, week 7, 2 weeks ago now, I went there, I scanned through, I think it was about 1,000 books this time, and I came away with 87 books in a little under 2 hours, or about 2 hours I think it was, which was the best I've gotten from a single source. Even it's better than I've gotten from a sale before, actually. So 87 in single source, and a lot of those were very good books. I got multiple books over $100, and quite a few books over the $50 mark. So with that being said, let's dive into my numbers for week 7. So here are my numbers for week 7. As you could guess, getting 87 books in about 2 hours, it was the least amount of time I'd spend that week to get over the 100 mark, which was a good thing because the rest of the week happened to be pretty hectic anyways. So total books I came back with was 132, and the total amount of time I spent with travel, listing, and sourcing books was 7 hours, making it the lowest amount of time I've spent for the entire challenge. And also the highest list price at $3,000 and the highest profit, estimated profit, at $1,600. Average list price was $22.88, and then the average price was also a lot lower, $1.53, because the source I got all those books from happened to be half off that day, so it made it even better. It's crazy how much money this actually equals out to, given the amount of time spent, no matter how you split it. Let's say I sell 80% of these books, which would be normally considered about average. That would turn into $182 an hour for the 7 hours spent. But let's say I'm way below average. Let's say only 50% of these books sell. I'm terrible at listing them, pricing them, whatever, selling them on Amazon. Even if only 50% of these books sell, that's still $114 an hour for the time spent that week. Now, those of you that have been following along my past weeks know that this is not an every single week occurrence, but you also know, if you've been following along, that my time spent has gone way down since I started, drastically down since I started, because I've worked on increasing my efficiency in sourcing and in listing and the shipping process, which makes the time spent down, which makes the dollars per hour go up, as long as I'm getting the same amount of books. The last 13 to 14, or no, the last 2 to 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks maybe, I haven't spent more than 13 to 14 hours in the entire process for an entire week for the 100 book challenge. Because ultimately, staying consistent and making your processes more efficient is going to make you more successful in the end. Now, you might be thinking that I just got lucky week 7, getting 87 books at one time, and also happening to find such valuable books. But I challenge that thinking, because I had that thought at first. At first I was thinking, oh, I just got lucky. This probably won't happen very often. It's nice that it happened this one time, but how often is this actually likely to happen? But then this thought occurred to me, and I don't mean to make this a motivational type thing at all. So if it sounds like that, I'm sorry. This is more for myself. But is that consistency equals opportunity. The more consistent you are, the higher likelihood you're going to have of getting the lucky occurrences of getting a lot of books or getting a really, really good source or building a relationship. Let's say, just for example, you have someone going out 1 hour, 1 day a week looking for books. You have someone else going out 1 hour a day, 2 days a week looking for books. Statistically speaking, if all other variables stay the same, that second person is going to be twice as likely to find a really, really good source, to build a better relationship, to hit the jackpot when something happens to go right and get a lot more books or a lot more profit from a single source than the first person would. Especially if the second person does that every single week consistently and the first person does it occasionally. Some weeks they do it, some weeks they don't, because consistency ultimately equals opportunity. So the more consistent you are, the higher the opportunity, or the higher the chance for a good opportunity that's going to come your way. Now, consistency isn't the only driving factor in success. There's a lot of other things that lead to it. But I think consistency, at least it has been in my life, and I think it is in a lot of people, is the biggest hurdle for them to success, because they're not consistent. They try something for a little while. It doesn't work perfectly right away. They give up and go on to something else. I've done it many times in the past. So that's my challenge for you in week 7, is to stay consistent. The more consistent you are for the rest of this challenge, the better the outcomes are going to be. Regardless. And so good luck sourcing in week 8.